The Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, aka information, and effects, against unreasonable searches and seizures, shall not be violated, with no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Pyramid terms. Advance directive. Written document recognized by state law that provides directions concerning the provision of care when a person is unable to make his or own treatment choices. Advocacy. Acting on behalf of the client and protecting the client's rights to make his or her own decisions. Consent. Voluntary act by which a person agrees to allow someone else to do something. Ethics. The distinction between right and wrong based on a body of knowledge, not just based on opinions. Informed consent. A person's understanding of the reason for the proposed intervention with its benefits and risk, and agreement with the treatment by signing a consent form. Law. A system composed of general rules governing conduct and the procedures for resolving disputes when rules are not followed. Malpractice. Failure to meet the standards of acceptable care, which results in harm to another person. Negligence. Failure to provide care that a reasonable person ordinarily would use in a similar circumstance. Patient's Bill of Rights. The rights and responsibilities of clients receiving care. Values. Beliefs and attitudes that may influence behavior and the process of decision-making. Ethical principles. Autonomy. Respect for an individual's right to self-determination. Non-maleficence. The obligation to do or cause no harm to another. Beneficence. The duty to do good to others and to maintain a balance between benefits and harms. Paternalism is an undesirable outcome of beneficence, in which the health care provider decides what is best for the client and attempts to encourage the client to act against his or her own choices. Justice. The equitable distribution of potential benefits and tasks, determining the order in which clients should be cared for. Veracity. The obligation to tell the truth. Fidelity. The duty to do what one has promised. How can we apply these to other aspects in life and in business? Whether personal, professional, or when dealing with authority figures. What are the responsibilities that we all hold and should live by in regards to what I have just stated? Types of laws. Contract law. Contract law is concerned with enforcement of agreements among private individuals. Civil law is concerned with relationships among persons and the protection of a person's rights. Violation may cause harm to an individual or property, but no grave threat to society exists. Criminal law is concerned with relationships between individuals and governments, and with acts that threaten society and its order. A crime is an offense against society that violates a law and is defined as a misdemeanor, less serious nature, or felony, serious nature. Once again, tort law. A tort is a civil wrong, other than a breach of contract in which the law allows an injured person to seek damages from a person who caused the injury. Now, can this injury be physical, non-physical? I think an injury is an injury, whether it's physical, emotional, financial, mental. It's about your intentions. What were your intentions when you took certain actions against people? Defamation is a false communication or a careless disregard for the truth that causes damage to someone's reputation, either in writing, libel, or verbally, slander. Fraud results from a deliberate deception intended to produce unlawful gains. They say no one is above the law, but if you work for the law, regardless to what branch of law, and you commit a crime, does that make you special? Would people not have to hold the spotlight over you because you, in fact, would be expected to know law? So if you know law because you work in law, wouldn't that make it a good way for you to know how to cover your ass? Because you work in law and you know the law. That is all.